lot of stuff coming up. You know, it's the baseball all-star break. We're in your face with that. We'll take a look at some of the amazing action that went on today in the final day of Major League play before the all-star break. Darrell Hamilton of the Brew Crew with a great catch. But that's not all, folks. Paul Tracy does it again on the IndyCar circuit, winning at Cleveland. And we'll talk live with Colts quarterback Jack Trudeau. You know, the Colts coming off that 9-7 season, go back to camp this week. It's all coming up next here on Sports Nuts, so don't you go away. Hi, folks. Welcome back to Sports Nuts for Sunday night. I'm Ken Tomash, sitting in for Ed Sorensen this summer. Hey, what about those Western U Dolphins? You know, do you think they're ever going to win a game? I think Coach Pete Bell just might be in trouble. We'll take a look at filming of Blue Chips up in Frankfurt a little bit later. We'll talk to Jack Trudeau. We'll look at the Indy cars, golf, everything you want. But first and most importantly, baseball. A lot of that going on. You know, we are at the All-Star break, and at least in the National League, there's no real pennant race to talk about. But the division leaders did get together this weekend in what could be a playoff preview. But if it is, they better black this thing out in Philly because the Giants really ripped them in taking 3 out of 4 at the Vet. Let's go there and check out the action from today. San Francisco pounded out 68 hits and scored 41 runs in the 4 games. Barry Bonds doubles high off the wall in left center to bring in 2 more runs and put the Giants on top 5-1. Still in the 4th now, Dave Martinez singles to bring home Bonds. The Giants had 18 hits on the day, and the Phillies went down meekly. Bonds camps under the fly ball for the final out, and as he does, he gets something thrown at him there. Nice town. 10-2 Giants. They go to the break with a 9-game lead on the Braves. Phillies up by 5 over the Cards in the East. The Reds and Pirates played turn back the clock in Pittsburgh. It was 1925 all over again with the old uniforms. Barry Larkin ripped the homer over the wall in left. 2-run shot in the 3rd to stake the Redlegs to a 2-0 lead. They couldn't hold it. Bottom 9, 2-2. Tom Foley squibbed one. Jeff Reardon couldn't make the play. Maybe it was those big flannel sleeves or something. Whatever. That loaded the bases, and Rob Dibble came in to walk Don Slott with a gamer. 3-2 Bucks. By the way, Pittsburgh won the World Series in 25. The Reds finished 3rd that year, 15 games out. Well, things were going pretty well for the Cubs for 5 innings today. Then the Astros woke up. Andahar Cedeno led off the 6th with a base hit. That was the first Astro knock of the day off Greg Hibbert. And Hibbert then had the wheels come straight off. Craig Biggio grounded one to 3rd. Eric Yelding threw it away, went out to right. Or Candy Maldonado did not have much more luck with it at all. Cedeno scored. Biggio ended up on 3rd. The Astros scored 6 unearned runs in the inning and crushed the Cubs 10-1. Chicago goes into the break 5 games under 500, 14.5 games out of first place. On the National League scoreboard, Mortgage Group of America's variety scoreboard, the Expos sweep the Padres with a 5-4 win today. The Rockies beat St. Louis. They are 33-54 at the break. The other expansion team, the Florida Marlins, are 37-51 after losing to the Braves today. And yes, another expansion-like team, the Mets, are 27-60 after losing to the Dodgers tonight. They got the worst record in baseball. Ouch. Now, the real races are in the American League, where there are 4 teams within a game and a half of the lead in the East and 5 teams within 2 games of the lead. In the West, the Blue Jays kept their East lead today despite getting drilled at home by the Texas Rangers. Let's go to Skydome. It looked pretty good early on for Toronto. The double down the line here by Roberto Alomar scored Turner Ward and put the Jays up 3-2 on Charlie Lee Brandt. But then the Rangers shelled Dave Stewart. 4th inning, Julio Franco takes Stu out of the yard, his 9th of the year. And then Dean Palmer, who really had a great series, 14 RBIs in the 4 games, had 3 today, drilled his 21st home run of the year to left. Don't mess with Texas, folks. They sweep the 4-game set, 11-6 the final. John Olerud went 1 for 4 for the Jays. He's hitting .395 at the break. Well, the White Sox are the team to beat out west. They had a 3-0 lead on the Orioles when Baltimore's Iron Man, Cal Ripken, went deep off Blackjack McDowell to cut it to 3-2. But McDowell did become the American League's first 13-game winner, thanks to a little help from his friends. Frank Thomas being the big one. He drilled 2 homers and drove in 5 runs. Here, a 2-run shot in the 7th off Todd Froworth, and Froworth couldn't throw worth a darn. That underarm delivery was tattooed, first by Thomas, and then in the 8th by Ozzie Guillen. 11-5 Sox. They go into the break in first place for the first time since '84. Now, folks, the Twins and Brewers are the American League's 2 last-place teams, so we had to look to the stands to find highlights of this one. That is not the guy who won the lottery the other night. That was another guy from Wisconsin. This guy ate the guy that won the lottery, and if you slept through it, you missed some good, some bad, and some ugly. Brewers leading 3-2 in the 4th inning. Juan Bell will ground to Chip Hale. Chip Hale has a little problem. A run scored, but the Twins scored 1 in the ninth to cut it to 5-4, and then with 2 out, watch this. Kirby Puckett launches it to right. Darrell Hamilton makes an amazing grab to end it. He said afterwards it was a good thing he caught it because he had to catch a plane home for the All-Star break. That was an All-Star catch. The Brewers held on. 5-4. Other scores, Brian McRae had 4 hits and a home run as the Royals go into the break with a 6-2 win over Detroit. They're just 1 back of the White Sox. In 14, the Angels 3, the Yankees 2. In 11, the M's 5 and the Indians 4. And look at the Red Sox. They've made up 10 games in the last 3 weeks, only 3 games out of first now after beating Oakland today out of the coast 3-2. And the Indianapolis Indians snapped that horrible 9-game losing streak today. They beat the Redbirds 11-7 down in Louisville this evening. They go into the AAA All-Star break with a record of 37-51 in last place in the American Association East. All right, the All-Star break leads us to our Hardee's trivia question for this week. See if you can answer it. Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore is hosting the Midsummer Classic for the first time on Tuesday, but which ballpark has hosted the most All-Star games? I'll give you a clue. The answer is a mistake. Don't go away.
This portion now with Value City Furniture.
Welcome back to Sports Nuts, and the answer to our Hardee's trivia question. Cleveland Stadium has hosted the most Major League All-Star games. The mistake by the Lake was the site of the 35, 54, 63, and 81 games. And Cleveland is, by coincidence, where the Indy cars stop this week. No, it's not coincidence. We actually plan these things this way. Let's go out to the airport and check it out. How it happened today in Cleveland is Paul Tracy had a big day. Now, when was the last time someone drove you to the airport in Cleveland at over 200 miles an hour? There was a multi-car wreck right at the start of the Cleveland Grand Prix today, but Roberto Guerrero and Bobby Rahal were the only ones to get knocked out of this one. Now, remember a few weeks ago in Detroit when Danny Sullivan sent Little Al into the cones and went on to win the race, and Little Al was just a little perturbed? Well, this week it was Unser's revenge. See, they touch, they spin, and Little Al takes the front off his teammate's car. Nice teamwork going on there. Best battle of the day, though, was obviously the battle late in this for second place between Emerson Fittipaldi and Nigel Mansell. Very important in the points chase because Emo came in third place in the standings. He would wind up second in the day after some great racing between these two who are going to be battling it out all season long for the IndyCar Points Championship. As we said, Emo wound up second behind the pole sitter, Paul Tracy, who picked up his second career victory. He led from lap 15 on, and he picked up an extra $100,000 for winning from the pole. Big day for Team Penske and for Paul Tracy.
You know, it's tough when you're out in front to keep the concentration up and be careful in traffic, but, you know, it's trying to really concentrate on that and not make a mistake, because with these two guys, if you make, you know, one mistake or you mess up on 1 or 2 laps, then they're right back on top of you again. So you really got to just try to pace yourself and try to be consistent.
Emo's second place finish closes the gap a bit in the point standings. He's now 14 behind Mansell, who finished third today. Raul Boisel falls to third. Mario was fourth with 75, and Tracy, who will be racing in his hometown of Toronto next week, is fifth with 65. All in all, it was a great day for Roger Penske. Not only did his IndyCar team win, but so did his NASCAR team at the brand new New Hampshire International Speedway. Trouble 1 minute, 2 laps into the slick 50-300. Jeff Burton will spin here and hit Ken Schrader. It looked worse than it actually was. It could have been a heck of a lot worse. No serious damage in this one. Rusty Wallace took the lead with 29 laps to go and held it thanks to a great late pit stop. He won for the 5th time this year, 26th time in his career. Mark Martin was second, Davey Allison third, and Indiana's own Jeff Gordon was 7th. Another Sunday, another disappointment for Michael Andretti in his first season on the Formula One circuit. Today over in England, Michael spun out on the very first lap of the British Grand Prix. That was the 3rd time this year that he has not finished the first lap of the race. There he goes. Great racing between Damon Hill and Alain Prost, the teammates. They were battling for the lead, but just after setting the fastest lap of the race, Hill went out when his engine gave loose, and Prost went on to win, becomes the first driver to win 50 Formula One races, finishing 8 seconds ahead of Germany's Michael Schumacher. You know, Jack Nicklaus has saved his best for the majors on the senior tour. The man who won 18 majors on the regular tour picked up his 6th win on the over 50 circuit today, and of course it came in a major, the U.S. Senior Open. Let's take a look at it. You saw it here on Channel 6 this afternoon. Tom Weisskopf, a rookie on the senior tour, started hot. He birdied 4 and 5 birdies early in shooting 30 on the front nine. Weiskopf and Dale Douglas battled to stay even with Jack, who came in with a one-shot lead, but Nicholas birdied 16 to take the lead for good. Weiskopf, who finished second to Nicholas twice at the Masters, shooting very well. There's the birdie on number 8 to take the lead. Tom Weiskopf did, but Nicholas went to 16 and nailed the bird to take the lead for good. Now, when they got to 18, Weiskopf needed to get this bird to go to force Jack to get a birdie on 18. But this one just slipped past. He finished with a 67, and Nicholas had only to two-putt to win by a stroke. He shot 70 today to finish at -6. All 6 of the Golden Bears' senior wins, thank you, Jack, have been in majors. Unbelievable. Well, they're celebrating up in Marion, Indiana tonight because Jim Gallagher Jr. won the PGA's Anheuser-Busch Classic today in Williamsburg, Virginia. Here he eagles 15 to go to 14 under. Gallagher started the day 4 shots off the lead, but on 16, he'll get the birdie to go to -15. He would finish at 15 under after a 65 today, winning by 2 strokes over Chip Beck. It's Gallagher's second career win after 5 second-place finishes. Hey, what a finish at the LPGA's Youngstown Warren LPGA Classic. The gallery watching as Nancy Lopez put on a clutch performance. She eagled the 18th hole to force a playoff with Deb Richard. And then on the first hole of the playoff, she hit the birdie putt, shot 67 on the day. Her first win in 9 months got her $75,000. Congratulations to Nancy Lopez. But the tournament everybody was talking about today, the Celebrity Golf Classic. Now, these are a bunch of guys who are only famous golfers for about 3 days a year. Charles Barkley and Curly Neal representing basketball. Charles, I would think you'd want to get away from the game for a little bit. It's only been a month since you lost to the Bulls in the NBA Finals. Speaking of those Bulls, in the NBA Finals, Michael Jordan, who shot 71 yesterday and 77 today to finish 15 over, but here he birdies number 12. And nice hat, too, Mike. Johnny Bench had 3 good rounds, 70, 70, and then 71 today. Nice dance step, too. He birdies 10, but he would finish second, 4 shots back. Remember Joe Namath? Carded an 80 today, but he will remember this one for a long time, the bird on 17. But they were all chasing former Dodger and Pirate pitcher Rick Rhoden, who shot 70 today to follow up his rounds of 66 and 71. He birdies 12 there, and he needed only a par on 18 to finish 9 under for the tournament, win the Celebrity Golf Classic, and $75,000. Now, one guy who I know has been watching this intently, Jack Trudeau. Jack, Peter Tom Willis was playing in this thing today. How come you weren't out there in the Celebrity Golf Classic?
Last week we played up in Toronto, and I was up there and had a very good time, but Tahoe's a pretty selective group of guys, and I haven't made it into that one yet.
Well, they must not have seen the little bit of tape of you that we are going to show as we go to break. Your hole-in-one, I know that you will never forget, from a couple of years ago at Neil Lomax's quarterback challenge. Actually, this is the reaction to your shot, since nobody actually has the shot itself on tape, but you'll never forget it. We'll be back to talk football with Jack Trudeau after this. Don't go away.
All right.
I'll tell you what. Sports Nuts, courtesy of Ovation Audio Video Specialists.
Here I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. Yes, sir, when there is a wrong to right, Mighty Mouse will join the fight.
Yes, Jack Trudeau saved the day for the Colts many times down the stretch in 92. In the last 5 weeks, he engineered 4 wins, 2 of them with late touchdown passes. So how you doing tonight, Mighty Mouse?
Mighty Mouse. I've not been compared to Mighty Mouse, but I'm doing great. Had a nice off season, and I'd be lying if I said I was ready to go back.
Really?
But
yeah, I mean, Thursday is coming up in Anderson. Are you really not ready to get back to it just yet?
it's not this Thursday, is it?
Yeah, you got to be there Thursday, man.
No, I thought it was August 15th.
No. We'll have to call up Ted Marchibroda. Get Marchibroda on the phone, okay? We'll confirm that. Let's talk about those last 5 weeks of the season, Jack. What were those like for you, to emotionally riding that wave that you were on there, where it seemed like you could do no wrong?
Well, after everything that happened last summer, I said a lot of things that were going to happen, and they did, and I was able to get in there and play and prove that I'm a very capable player. And I had as much fun down the stretch last season as I've ever had playing football. Everything seemed easy for me. I felt very comfortable in our offense, and I was out there having a good time, and I think it showed in the way I played. And And I never had any doubts in my abilities, but it had been a couple of years since I'd played. I just had a lot of fun.
The win over Buffalo there, we saw that was a huge one in overtime, 16-13. Then you come in, get the last-minute touchdown pass to Buck to win the Jets game, coming in relief. And then at Cincinnati, last game of the year, Jeff gets hurt. You have to go in again. You were, by the end of the year, it seemed like you were really relishing the role of the relief pitcher coming in and lighting things up at the end.
Well, I like to start every game and play every second of every game, but I don't control that situation, and I'll do what I'm asked. Fortunately for me, I've been able to, over the course of my career, learn how to prepare myself, even if maybe I'm not the guy that's going to start the game. I've been able to come into games and play well, and play well when someone gets hurt, and I think that's one reason why I feel like I can play in this league for quite a while longer.
I thought it was appropriate that Bill Brooks goes out this way, catching a touchdown pass from you, as much as you guys have been thought of intertwined in your Colt career.
Yeah, we're going to miss Billy, and obviously I'm going to miss him probably more than Jeff will, because Billy and I came in together. I threw him a lot of passes, and it's very fitting that I believe that was his last catch as a Colt, and I hope he does well in Buffalo every game except for the two he plays against us.
Now, what about your offseason, Jack? I hesitate to ask this because I think I know the answer, but what did you do in the offseason?
Well, let's see. I sat around the house and did a lot of housework and, work around the yard.
Really? Seriously?
No, I spent my months playing golf. I played at, obviously, Wolf Run a lot, which is a great golf course, and I played... got to play Pine Valley and Seminole and a lot of the great courses around the country, and I've really had a lot of fun doing it, and being a part of Wolf Run is really a great pleasure for me. And
what is it like to own your own golf course, Jack? I mean, very few Americans can see that. I mean, it's a piece of Wolf Run, obviously, but that's got to be strange. Nice feeling.
It's been a real interesting experience. Wolf Run, as I said, is a great golf course, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it simply because I think it's one of the best courses in the United States, and hopefully we'll get rated in Golf Digest, and people around the country will begin to realize how great it is. But it's been a real fun time for me because it's something that I've always wanted to do. I love the game of golf, and it's such a difficult and demanding game to play that for me it's a blast to go out there and not feel like I have to do well, but enjoy the competition and the concentration it takes to play the game.
And you were a man in demand, throwing balls in the stands at the ice game.
Well, I was hurling some of those nerves, wasn't I?
You look good. All right, we'll be back with more with Jack Trudeau after we take this break, and we'll talk about the Colts upcoming year and the number one pick, Sean Dawkins. We'll get Jack's views on that. Don't go away.
17th and 18th.
We're back on Sports Nuts. Ken Tomash in for Ed Sorensen, and we are with Jack Trudeau, who is kind enough to join us, stay up late. Jack, you must not have an early tea time tomorrow, I guess, if you're willing to stay up with us.
Actually, I'm going over to Ohio tomorrow. I'm playing Golf Club of Ohio and a course called Double Eagle over there to try and end my golf season.
You got to get it in now because Thursday it ends for a while.
Are you sure it's this Thursday?
It is Thursday the 15th. Quarterbacks and walking wounded and rookies and guys like that, and you, my friend, are quarterbacks. You got to be there. Let's talk realistically about this team. Will this be a better team in 93 than 92? We'll start with the offensive line specifically, where you get Loudermilk in and hopefully Will Wolford if he comes back.
Well, I think the key is when Will comes back. The other thing is I never thought our line was all that bad. I think the addition of these guys makes it a good offensive line. When you have Kevin Call and Randy Dixon and some of those guys that I feel like are good players, the problem that has hurt our offensive line more than anything has been injuries, as that has been the case on our football team in general. And for us to be a good team playing the schedule we have, we can't have guys like Quentin Coriat and Steve Entman getting hurt. You just can't compete with the Dolphins and the Bills and the Redskins and the Cowboys and those type of teams that we have to play this year if you have people hurt all the time. And maybe this will be the season when we don't have all the injuries and we can put it all together and win the AFC East. And after that, if you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. And there's no question we've got enough talent But it's a long season, and a lot of things can happen.
Even if Edmund and Corey had come back strong, even with those guys out last year, the defense was great, kept you in a lot of games.
Well, there's no question. The games that I played in down the stretch, I gave a lot of credit to our defense because they allowed me to keep the game, a little bit close to the vest and play kind of conservative to a certain extent.
And the running game here is Rocky Culver had a good year, and you get Roosevelt Potts in too. That's got to.
Well, I said I really truly believe that offensively we'll do fine as long as our defense plays the way they did last year. Because offensively, when you get behind in the NFL, it's a tough day. Our defense is really the backbone of our team, and guys like Edmund and Corey will make a big difference for us.
Now, I know you haven't seen much of him because he didn't work out in minicamp, but what do you think of Sean Dawkins, the possibility of throwing to him, the rookie?
Well, I was thrilled with the fact that we made that pick because when we lost Billy, I was truly concerned about our receiving core. I think Reggie and Reggie Langhorne, Jesse Hester did a great job for us. And we really needed another real top-of-the-line, go-get-it receiver. And not that our other guys weren't capable, but this Dawkins kid, if all the things that have been said about him, if half of them are true, he's in the class of an Al Toon, Jerry Rice. That's what they've been saying. So I said if he's half that good, he'll do great for us.
You lose Bill Brooks to free agency, so the quick answer, Jack Trudeau can become a free agent after this season. Do you want to stay here forever?
Well, I don't think it's after this season. I think I've got 2 more years here.
Is it 2 more? Okay, staying great.
But, that's another issue that needs to be dealt with in other ways in other places. But, right now, I want to be a part of this team and do what I can to help us win as I have in the past. And I'll let the rest of that take care of itself.
Jack, can't thank you enough for staying up late with us. And it is Thursday in Anderson. I'm going to be there,
sure?
And if I don't see you, I'm going to have to put a call into your house and make sure you get up there in a hurry. Because you missed it all last year. You missed the experience.
Maybe that's why I thought that it wasn't starting this soon.
We'll see you there, Jack. Thanks.
Okay.
We'll be back with more. That movie they're filming up in Frankfurt, it escapes me at the moment. We'll have more about that in a minute. Don't go away. Welcome back on Sports Nuts. If you're a basketball fan or a movie buff, you could not help but notice the excitement around Frankfurt, Indiana this weekend for 4 nights as Frankfurt High's Case Arena was transformed into the Dolphin Dome. The Dolphins of Western University, home of the hot dogs actually, but has been turned into the Dolphin Dome for the filming of the Paramount motion picture Blue Chips. Thousands of folks got the tickets, only $5,000 a night to see the Western U Dolphins, the perennial powerhouse in college basketball, coached by Pete Bell, who has to recruit some blue chip players to try and turn things around. He not only gets Shaquille O'Neal, who plays Neon Bordeaux from Louisiana, also gets his soon-to-be Orlando teammate Anthony Hardaway, too. But the real magic, can you make a 5,000-seat gym look big?
Yeah, Superman can't fly either. I hate to tell you that. It's a movie. It's about illusion, and you will never know that this is an 85 versus a 98-foot court in a movie. This will look and photograph more like the stadium that Duke plays in Durham. An 8 or 9 or 10,000 seat arena. I know a lot of Division I programs that have arenas this size and not as good as this even. That's the magic of movie making.
And they'll be making movie magic one more night up in Frankfurt. We got to go. Sports Nuts is done for tonight. Ed Sorensen's back all this week. Join us.